Hey, how's it going, guys? We're back with another Star Wars reaction video. Well, then again, this is more of a comic reaction video, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. Now, make sure to listen to this so that way there's no confusion. I reacted to 6 videos of Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith audio comic books by Star Wars Audio Comics. But after the 6th video, I can't really find videos after that. I don't know if my searching is that terrible or I can't. Or maybe they didn't do it at all, but however, I did find basically the complete edition, but it's by another channel called Star Wars Theory. And basically Star Wars Theory said this is the complete canon comic series, 1 all the way to 25, 1 all the way to 25. So it has the remaining 18 that I need to watch. However, it's just going to be with a different different channel. So I'm going to be starting off exactly where I left off, which is I did look at the end of it, and it basically ended with Jocasta Nu. So I'm gonna try to watch from there all the way to the end and see how Star Wars Theory does it, because Star Wars Audio Comics did an amazing job. It really did sound like clone voices. It really did sound like Darth Vader and the Emperor himself. Now let's see how Star Wars Theory does. But Star Wars Theory has been around for a while and has millions of subscribers, so I have a lot of faith in them. So without anything else, let's jump into the video.
This issue. Now, the Jedi at the end there is Jocasta Nu, if I'm not mistaken. This is the old lady librarian who was so rude to Master Kenobi in Attack of the Clones.
It's only an arm. Get up and fight.
Lord Vader, I must protest. What will chopping off Six Brothers' arm possibly teach him?
Losh. He will never forget it. None of them will.
As Vader leads the Grand Inquisitor upstairs, he tells him that his men were not ready. Being told that the Inquisitors
Damn,
were
they're
trained
just
by
losing
Jedi,
limbs.
Vader snarkily replies,
And they fight like it. Defensive, moving to attack only when there is no other choice. I will instruct you. You will bring my lessons to the others. Any Inquisitor who does not progress will be eliminated.
As Vader motions towards the computer, he explains that their mission begins now, as
Okay.
they go over a list from the Emperor who has documented all surviving Jedi from Order 66, informing Vader of the Emperor's hit on the most important and dangerous Jedi survivor, Jocasta Nu. Now, for those of you who don't remember,
she's the most
is
dangerous?
the really rude, annoying librarian from Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, who tells Obi-Wan that if something isn't in the Jedi archives, then it simply doesn't exist. Okay, let's continue.
She is given extra emphasis, but I do not know why.
Now, while Vader and the Grand Inquisitor speak out about how useless and weak she is, they wonder why she's been rated as the most wanted Jedi after Order 66. As the scene goes to Jocasta Nu on a
I'm wondering
mystical
that
planet,
as
we see her
well.
meditating into a Jedi holocron, as she says the words,
Whoever is seeing this, it's up to you now.
flipping the page,
That was
we
good.
see her being delivered some tea, as she is asked to retire for the day, when she pulls aside a crate full of Jedi holocrons that must be fulfilled, saying, if my work is not complete, then I must work. So she clearly has that same snarky attitude that we saw in Episode 2. As Darth Vader takes the Grand Inquisitor to the Jedi Temple archives, he orders him to go through all the information containing any clues as to where the surviving Jedi are.
Do not fail.
Don't worry, Vader. I've waited my whole life for this.
As Jocasta Nu runs through the mysterious planet's waterfalls, we see her carrying another Jedi holocron into a cave, greeting Gar, her assistant, as he prepares them a meal. She then stops dead in her tracks, grabbing a small chest from above her bed. As Gar says that she doesn't need it anymore, that her work is done and the archives are now all complete, that she can run away and be anyone that she wants, the librarian Jedi Master pauses and tells him,
Oh, my friend, don't you see? I haven't built an archive here. I've built a school.
grabbing her things and telling him that her mission will be extremely dangerous. She says if the Force wills it, she will return, and then they can truly begin. Asking what she means, she replies,
A school needs students.
Lord Vader,
Okay.
report.
as Vader tells his
So is she
master
trying
that
to rebuild the
Inquisitors will
Jedi
do
Order?
their duty, the Emperor begins to change the subject, as the Dark Lord inquires something.
Proceed.
I have seen the Inquisitor's target list, one name distinct from the others. Clearly, you wished me to ask you about it. And so, of all the remaining Jedi, why Jocasta Nu?
As the librarian Jedi Master takes her lightsaber and puts it to her belt, she travels to her destination.
Ah, yes, Jocasta Nu. She is ancient, middling in the Force,
barely competent with a lightsaber, and yet the crown could end everything we are trying to do. For you see, the Jedi Order held power in the Republic for far too long. They abused that power. They laid claim to every site of interest to the Force across the galaxy. Shrines, wells of energy, ancient temples. They took them, believed they were theirs by right. The Jedi plundered these sites, took everything of value from them, and brought these items here to Coruscant. And then they gave them to Jocasta Nu, to guard.
Oh,
not
so
just
the Emperor
secrets
wants
of the
her
light
for
side
information
Force,
as to
but
where
the
all these
dark
things are.
side as well. Secrets that were not theirs to keep. Secrets even of the ancient Sith.
Stop there, citizen. Identify yourself.
She is little better than a witch.
As Jocasta Nu uses a Jedi mind trick on the clones, she walks into the Jedi Temple through a secret passageway.
She is no one at all. We see nothing at all.
As Vader tells his master that he will end her life, personally, Palpatine has other plans for him. He tells Vader that he must refrain from killing her.
Lord Vader, release him. Thank you for your support, Colonel. I hope your division will show improved performance in the weeks to come. You may go.
Damn, he almost
Palpatine
killed the
continues
colonel.
to tell Vader that he mustn't use his powers on just anyone. That he, Sidious, understands the boredom that they may feel now that almost all the Jedi are extinct. However, to use one's powers for just any creature below them will turn one into a slave, into a tool, instead of the master.
I feel these things too, Vader, and this is good. These emotions open a door to the great power.
I like how Star
of the
Wars Theory
dark
doesn't read
side.
every single
As we
line.
see
He just
Jocasta Nu running
pretty
through
much
the
like
temple,
summarizes
witnessing
and
the ruins that
reads
has
a
been
few
left
of them.
after Order 66. She gets a signal from B2, her droid back at the ship, warning her of being discovered. B2 detonates the ship and himself, alerting all Imperial forces in the area. As she enters the Jedi Archive,
Damn.
seeing the Grand Inquisitor following Vader's orders and studying everything that he can about the Jedi, marveling in how nothing interesting is in these books, we can see it hitting a very sensitive spot for Jocasta, where she tries to keep focused on the mission at hand instead of confronting him as she runs through the corridors.
A bond, then?
Excuse me, sir. We found this. Thought you should probably take a look.
Jedi.
As they call it into Vader, we can see just
Damn.
how new Vader is to the Empire, as even one of the higher officials doesn't know of him yet.
Someone new. I've never heard of him. Strange name.
While Vader meditates in his chair, he is
Strange
interrupted
name.
by a servant.
Yeah,
who
tell
I
that
believe
to
is
him
Vin
personally.
Yang, telling him that he is needed, as an incident has taken place in the city of possible connection to the Jedi.
I'm sorry to disturb your meditation, my lord, but we have just received a report from the Imperial Security Bureau.
Oh, the ISB.
Incident in the city, a possible connection to the Jedi.
Tell them I am coming.
Using the Force to move certain books around which trigger a key in the wall, Jocasta Nu moves through the secret doorway that just opened.
Master Activist Jocasta Nu, you have returned at last. I have kept my watch. Everything is exactly as you left it.
As Jocasta, the activist, moves through the Jedi Temple's hidden room, which what I can only imagine is part of the restricted section or something even more forbidden, we see
Is
all
that a
of the
Sith
Sith
holocron?
holocrons sitting in display cases, with a giant one sitting right next to that case. As Vader stands amidst the investigation of the bomb's leftover pieces, the officer tells him that it was just a bomb, and the Jedi insignia was on it, merely just graffiti from those rebelling against the Empire.
You are wrong.
As the officer tries to tell Vader about his prestigious years of experience and that he doesn't really have to answer to him, Vader uses
are
the
here
Force
as
to
a
bring
courtesy.
together the pieces of rubble and form them into what they once were, Jocasta Nu's ship.
Lord Vader, we were only getting started. In time, I'm sure we would
There
have...
is no time. A Jedi is on this planet. Take your team, search every level. Avoid only the former Jedi Temple.
The temple, but if a Jedi is here, it seems likely they might head there. Surely someone should search it.
Someone will.
As Vader swiftly
he's gonna
turns on
do
his
it.
heel, cape billowing behind his strides, we enter the next scene where Jocasta Nu holds the most important piece of this issue, and realistically, the end of the Empire as a whole, if in the right hands, depending on your certain point of view, of course.
The Order's database of every Force-sensitive child we knew of in the galaxy, as of just before the Purge. A seed from which we will grow again. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. If fate wills it, we will see each other again.
Of course. May the Force be with you.
As the old Jedi Master leaves the hidden room, she glares at the Inquisitor, who mocks her books and throws them aside with distaste.
Don't be a fool. It doesn't matter.
Drivel.
Well, it's a
Jumping
good
down to the
thing
table
she,
below, she ignites her
restrained
blue
herself.
lightsaber to the throat of the Inquisitor, shouting,
Never mind.
Get your filthy hands off my books!
As Vader sped to the Jedi Temple, his anger and hatred growing with each flap of his cape billowing in the Coruscant night sky behind him, landing at the very steps where he marched with the 501st to spill Jedi blood during Order 66. He walked by his troops when one clone says,
The temple is sealed, Lord Vader. What are your orders?
Unless authorized by either the Emperor or me, no one enters, no one leaves.
As Vader moves up the grand steps, he is slowed by a clone that asks him what they should be expecting, as they have no intel on the situation other than there's been a breach.
A little more information about who we're facing might enable me to make better tactical decisions.
Commander, were you involved with the implementation of Order 66?
Yes, I was here in Coruscant, did my part. All the clones did. Shut those Jedi agitators down cold.
It seems, Commander, you missed some.
Who are you, and how dare you defile this sacred place?
As the Grand Inquisitor stands at lightsaber point, he asks Jocasta if she recognizes him. After having denied him access to the higher archives countless times, it should be obvious who he is. Standing back in shock, Master Jocasta asks if he is a Jedi. When the Grand Inquisitor ignites his red lightsaber and attacks her, as she whispers,
Sith.
No, not yet. Perhaps never, but close enough.
Fighting in a spiral of red and blue fire, the two move through the archives with the intent to kill. Jocasta asks him why he would betray the Order. The Inquisitor replied that he never felt right at the temple, how he always felt something was being denied of him.
Now at last, that void has been filled with the purity of the dark side. Back then I thought perhaps I could find what I was missing in these archives, and you would not let me look.
As Jocasta sends a wave of Force energy to push the Grand Inquisitor back, she tells him that if she denied him access, it was because she felt he was not ready for such knowledge. As the Grand Inquisitor tells
Wow.
her that he always wanted to strike her down, but knew the other Jedi would stop him, how she was not put into the library because of her combat skills, or rather, lack thereof. He kicks her to the floor and gets ready to end her life, raising his red lightsaber, telling her that there are no other Jedi here to save her. He swiftly slashes down as Jocasta recites the same line Chirrut Imwe always says.
I am one with the Force is with me.
Stopped, as if he hit a wall. Looking up, the Grand Inquisitor sees Lord Vader has
Oh, he blocked it?
the strike.
No,
She is defenseless. Why shouldn't I kill her?
because I do not wish it.
As Vader and the Inquisitor argue on who should lower their weapon first, Jocasta takes the opportunity and levitates the books from the archives, firing them at her enemies. Summoning her lightsaber, she escapes up the pillar to the second level.
Master Nu, you
Damn,
have
dude, for an old
nowhere
lady, she can move pretty well.
It was you, wasn't it? You killed this order, or you played a role in its end. You are a true Sith.
As Jocasta tells Vader through the echoes that she knows why he wants her alive, to attain her secrets, to reveal the knowledge of the archives.
To that, Sith, I say one word. Never.
Authorization codes accepted. Activating purge sequence. Sequence complete. All data erased.
May the Force forgive me. Your treasure is gone, Sith. All you have left is me.
As Vader tracks
Wow,
down
she
Jocasta,
erased
he comes
everything?
across a droid that was guarding the hidden room she entered in the last issue. The room was filled with old Sith holocrons and artifacts. As it scans Vader's presence, it declares,
Hello, bioscans indicate match to Jedi Master Anakin Skywalker. My apologies, Master Skywalker, but your presence in this vault is not authorized. If you would like access, please follow the proper procedures to request user privileges from Master Jocasta.
As Vader hurls his red lightsaber at the security droid, certain it will pierce through its droning head, the droid catches it and says,
Oh,
Master Skywalker, I am the Guardian Protector of one of the most sensitive areas of the Jedi Temple, programmed to defend against any and all threats to its security. Of course, that includes techniques related to Jedi saber attacks.
Dude, he caught that thing?
Perhaps Sith. In any case, a fine addition to this vault's inventory.
As Vader dashes towards the bot, shouting for it to die, metal fists clenched. He detaches one of its arms and flings it across the room. As the two begin to fight each other, metal to metal, Master Jocasta is seen running through the corridor, searching for something.
Skywalker, oh my, this is very, very bad.
Okay, so now she knows who Darth Vader
Searching
is.
for her item, Vader and the bot continue to fight one another in a full-on mechanical war.
Ah, at last.
As Jocasta puts together what she's found, Vader punches through the head of the robot, finishing the fight and putting it to rest for good. As he quickly ignites his lightsaber and deflects a massive sniper ion blast to his face. It was Jocasta. She had equipped one of the most powerful weapons in the Jedi archives, as Vader is sent flying backwards into the shattering walls. The scene turns to Jocasta. She cocks her weapon and says,
Oh yeah, the blaster that uses lightsaber as ammo. I know this.
As Vader and Jocasta Nu square off in the hallway,
Lay down your weapon, Jedi. I do not want you to die.
as Jocasta begins to tell Vader that she feels the dark side emanate from his very being in waves, she fires another blast at him, which, by the way, is the coolest looking gun that I've seen. It uses her lightsaber
Yeah, it
as
looks
the
really
energy
cool.
bullets, essentially, and I'll have to cover this weapon on its own after because it's pretty different. As Jocasta continues her monologue, she tells Vader that she knows he was Anakin Skywalker and has now been twisted into Palpatine's tool to stamp out the light side of the Force. That the Force is eternal and will always be so as long as life exists.
It will find its vessels. It always does. It already has. There are others waiting out in the galaxy.
As her weapon malfunctions, melting her lightsaber in the process, Vader dodges quickly as she throws the broken gun at him, exploding it in midair as he uses the Force to toss it aside, revealing a massive crater in the temple's wall, alerting all the clones nearby. As she summoned one of the several lightsabers carefully displayed in the wall, she
You got
netted
this?
an emerald green blade from a very unique and ancient-looking hilt, as she runs out to meet the clones below, who all fire upon her without hesitation.
That's a Jedi. All troops, open fire.
As the clone troopers open fire on her, they spot a second Jedi up top in the temple. However, to their surprise, it's Lord Vader wielding his red lightsaber.
Wait, do you think
As
Vader
Jocasta and
is
Vader
a
block
Jedi?
the oncoming fire, a clone commander up top sees Vader being attacked and immediately orders all troops to cease fire as he jumps aboard the vessel.
All troops, do not fire. That is a high-value target.
As Jocasta Nu falls backwards to take her life, she whispers,
I am one with the Force. The Force is with me.
falling
I like
to the
how her
darkness
voice is so
beneath her.
high-pitched.
She freezes in midair, looking up as she says,
No.
seeing Vader hold her with the Force from above, summoning her to his grip.
Bring her aboard.
As the clone trooper brings Vader the memory crystal from Jocasta's secret archive that she hid in her robes, he examines it and inserts it into his belt, where all the names and data show up on his ocular lenses.
Oh, so now they know.
List. Names, locations, and birth dates. Recent birth dates. These are children.
Vader realizes that these are all targets remaining from Order 66. Jocasta Nu tells him that she knows Palpatine ordered him to keep her alive, and that he doesn't even know why.
He wants to make more of you, which begs the question, what do you want, boy?
As the trooper asks Vader if he can fire upon Jocasta, the Jedi in question, Jocasta says,
Jedi? You idiot! You don't even know who you're supposed to hate. You're taking orders from a Jedi. This man is Anakin Skywalker, a Jedi Knight.
As Vader blasts all the troopers with the Force from the ship, Jocasta Nu asks,
What becomes of me?
as Vader
Damn.
ignites his blood-red crimson saber, the glow casting a shadow on Jocasta's face. She accepts her fate, where we are taken to the next scene.
Master, I have a report. Jocasta Nu
No
tried
witnesses.
to escape our custody. She was careless. She perished in the attempt.
I see. Regrettable. Return to me, my apprentice. I would hear the story of the witch's end. But first, tell me, did you learn anything from Jocasta before her death?
Oh, he destroyed it.
No, Master. Nothing.
destroying the crystal with all the files of the potential Force sensitives in the galaxy, as a means of securing his position to never be replaced by the Emperor.
Oh, that's
Vader
why, okay.
returns to his master. As Jocasta's caretaker continues to watch over the hidden holocrons and data tapes on that mysterious planet behind the waterfall, realizing that Jocasta is now dead, he hits the detonation device in his hands, collapsing the entryway behind the waterfall itself, as Jocasta's words to Vader echo through the last page.
It will find its vessels. It always does. It already has. You know this.
I wonder
There
who
are
found it.
others waiting out in the galaxy. When the time is right, the Jedi will rise again.
Is that Luke Skywalker?
We start today's issue off with Vader and the Ninth Sister investigating a bar fight that happened, where she tells him that reports
Ninth
were made
Sister.
of someone using the Force to get out of the fight. This makes Vader very angry. The fact that a new Jedi could be on the loose, another Jedi, is out there, that Order 66 didn't really succeed as well as he hoped. He goes outside to enter the other entrance to the bar, when she tells him that during the time that she was a Jedi, she knew everyone had unique gifts, whereas hers was the ability to detect emotions, and now that she's turned to the dark side, that power is amplified even more. As Vader leaves, she calls him a poor sadistic monster, obviously behind his back, dying for a fight, or rather, dying to die his miserable life. As Vader enters the bar, we get this old Western kind of feeling, when everyone goes silent as he asks the hive of scum and villainy, what happened to the Jedi that was here?
Tell me.
As everyone stops to examine who this man is, or rather this monster, up above on the railing, a literal family of 3 bounty hunters have their scopes on him, particularly a tractor beam scope on his lightsaber that he took from Kurak in Phila and corrupted the crystal to make it bleed red.
Oh, they
Once he
stole his
finally notices
lightsaber?
something is being
Oh.
snatched from his belt, he quickly reacts and pulls it to him using the Force, when the daughter of the family throws an ion charge, exploding it to all nearby electronic devices, as his lightsaber breaks in half, tumbling the corrupted blood-red crystal to the floor. As the family
Oh,
tells
so
everyone in
that's
the bar
what
that no one
happened.
is going to get hurt, that they're just here for the Jedi, Vader levitates several aliens in the air and simultaneously force chokes them all, hurling them as hard as he can at his assassins. Lucky for them, though, they activated their Force shields, which kept them safe. For now.
Ninth Sister, I am under attack by bounty hunters. They triggered an ion pulse and destroyed my lightsaber. Bring me yours.
Ion Pulse, eh? Guess it fried mine too. Oh well.
As the bounty hunters
Damn.
open fire on Lord Vader, he raises bodies from the floor to create an organic
There's literally
shield
no
around him.
loyalty amongst
As
each
they
other.
take the fire, keeping him safe amidst the blaze, allowing him a chance to escape, he flees for the door and summons his red crystal with him. While the hunters get away, Vader appears and accuses the Ninth Sister of betrayal, telling her that she was the one who ordered them here to kill him. When she assures him that it was not her, he summons her lightsaber and puts the emitter to her throat, telling her,
It is only a matter of time until I learn the truth. We shall see. Wait here until I return. If you flee, you will die.
racing
I
after
wonder
his new
if
targets
she actually
in a
did do
high-speed
it.
chase, he dodges
I like
blaster
that.
fire after blaster fire and raises entire transport units into the sky, hurling one at them when they quickly ignite their shields, only to wake in a fiery blaze. As they begin to come to, Vader grabs the daughter with the Force and throws her in the air, choking her to death.
Who hired you?
Screaming and pleading for him to stop, they reveal that they don't know, for it was just an anonymous job sent through the Hunter net. This is when Vader looks at them and says,
That is unfortunate.
quickly telling him that they can find out, bartering for him to let her go, or else they'll never tell, and if she dies, they'll have nothing to live for. He quickly releases her as they break the encryption code of the Order and trace it back to the one who sent the hit on Vader himself. As the
Oh, it's
hologram
on
projector on
Coruscant?
their wrists reveal the location of the person responsible, Vader looks at the building as she says,
Looks like the Senate District in the Republic Executive Building.
Where?
I think all the way at the top. Today we start with Vader and the Ninth Sister
Palpatine
traveling
ordered
to
it?
Coruscant, where Vader's droid tells him
The kill contract against you was sent from the highest levels of the Imperial Executive Building, which include the offices of Emperor Palpatine. There is a 97% probability the signal originated there. I see no evidence of slicing.
As Vader constructs his new lightsaber, he asks for all names of officers with access codes to level 1.
I really like the first lightsaber.
As they enter
it had a little
Coruscant,
bit better
their
design
comms
than
link
this
is
one, in my
jammed by
opinion.
someone, disallowing them to give the access codes to enter the planet. Being targeted by Coruscant defense systems, Vader pushes the Ninth Sister aside when she tells him that he better have some dark side tricks up his sleeve, as he says,
No tricks. Skill.
And he still got hit.
As they crash land on Coruscant, Vader meets up with Palpatine in the old Jedi Temple, where Sidious tells him that his fight with Jocasta was not a defeat, nor was it a victory. However, he's astounded by the amount of Sith and Jedi artifacts that she possessed.
That looks like a Mandalorian
The
helmet.
contract originated here, sent from the highest levels of Imperial government.
The highest?
Yes. Did it come from you?
I see you have rebuilt your lightsaber, Lord Vader. May I see it? Yes, an improvement. I think the hilt you took from Master Infila did not suit. If I wanted you dead, my apprentice, I would not require such indirect methods.
I thought perhaps a test of some kind.
I do not test, I teach.
As Sidious tells Vader that if he wants to pursue his assassins, he can do so on his own time, as he has an empire to build himself. As Vader goes to meditate, we then see this cross scene between the actual assassins and his deep force trance. As they're so conveniently in this masked bar, they reveal that they were the ones who did want Vader dead, and they won't stop until he is. Now, one thing I want to point out is that while they speak, we can see Vader meditating. And while he does, for those who have been with me for a while, you may remember this video right here. This was where we saw Vader meditate in the same spot in the same way.
We'll try again and again and again if we have to. Eventually, he'll die. Everything dies.
As Vader ends his meditation, he goes to his master and tells him that no one in the Empire knows that he has command, and maybe this is why he is being assassinated, because no one respects him. They know he has strength, but not his authority, not his power, Palpatine's power.
Oh, okay.
So, Sidious rounds up all the elite Imperial officers in the area and tells them,
It is time to eliminate any confusion. This is Lord Vader. He speaks with my voice. A command from him is as a command from me. Pass this information down to your men. All must understand.
Pharaoh, Binyan, Strefi, Azoras, Baroki, step forward. 2 attempts have been made on my life. Evidence suggests a conspiracy within the Imperial Officer Corps. I do not yet know the precise individuals behind these attempts, although I have my suspicions. It does not matter. I will always survive.
Yeah, he always does.
Time I will survive. But 5 of you chosen at random will not.
As the bodies drop to the floor and Vader strikes fear into his officers officially, he turns swiftly on his heel and leaves back to his chair where he resumes his meditation.
So they didn't
and
do anything, they were
extinguishes
just
every
chosen
light
at
side
random.
emotion within him, symbolized by those butterflies, cracking the thick glass window as he wakes to make his next move on his killers.
Alright, what's the next move? So there are 2 people that ordered the assassination on Vader, but the question is, how do we find them? How do we track them down?
Fire and lava ablaze, Vader is right back on Mustafar before he was beaten and burned by his former master. As Obi-Wan jumps to the high ground, he looks to Anakin and tells him, it's over.
I have the high ground.
When we see Vader say the exact same line Anakin did in Revenge of the Sith, standing in the exact same spot. However, this time, his powers fully unlocked in the dark side, his rage burning hotter than the lava that sparked his inevitable doom. As he says,
You underestimate my power.
as Obi-Wan tells him not to try it, we all know what happened in the original timeline, where Anakin jumped and got sliced into pieces. Vader, now harnessing the dark side of the Force, lifts the lava onto Obi-Wan and then throws him into the air, slamming him to the ground. As Vader watches his old master recite the same lines, only now having switched places, the comic actually gets really dark, which surprised me to say the least, but in a good way. As lava comes crashing down onto Obi-Wan's body and face, melting and burning him alive as it devours him whole, Vader just callously stands there, watching in amusement, remembering where he lay at the hands of Kenobi. As his mask lowers onto his scarred head, Lord Sidious's voice speaks to him.
Lord Vader, come to me. I have a task for you.
Yes, my master.
The time has come for this empire to evolve. It must become more than a political abstraction. In the 3 years since my ascension, I have allowed a convenient fiction to persist, that the Empire is merely an extension of the Republic. The Imperial Senate remains an illusion of many voices coming together to govern. In truth, there is only one voice. Mine.
As Palpatine continues to talk, he basically tells Vader that the Mon Cala are very defiant to the Empire. As Sidious tells Vader that it is time the Empire show its true strength to the galaxy, Vader asks him if the weapon is ready, where Sidious tells his apprentice,
the Death Star.
No. Krennic and his scientists inform me its primary weapon is not yet operational, but we have many weapons. Star Destroyers, the new fighters, they will suffice.
My master, I will lead a military maneuver against Mon Cala if you wish, but I am no longer a general.
As Palpatine tells him that he is still demoted, he informs him that there is something fishy going on with the planet of Mon Cala, that he thinks they are cooperating with a Master Jedi. Vader jumps at the word, bowing to his master as he is instructed to find out who
a
the
Jedi
Jedi
advisor?
is, if there is one, and to put a stop to it and any more that survived Order 66. As the scene shifts pace to Tarkin aboard the Imperial Star Destroyer, we see his subordinates suggest to use firepower on the planet, where Tarkin tells him that the negotiations must resume diplomatically, as Mon Cala is a valuable planet to the Empire with many advantages. To blow it up would be poor judgment so soon. Besides, he says how Palpatine really enjoys the Mon Cala aquatic ballet, telling them he will not destroy it, not without cause. We are
Because
taken
of the
down
ballet.
to the planet itself, in the city of Dak, where we see one of the Empire's negotiators speaking to King Li Char. He speaks to him about giving the Empire their Kelpite
Oh yeah, I
strand
remember him
beams
from
for
Clone
practically
Wars.
pennies, all in favor
He
of
had a
being
whole arc.
protected by the Empire itself. When the king says protection from what? The galaxy is at peace. As Vader's ship flies by Tarkin in space, he grants it permission to proceed to the planet, telling his troops that this ship offers a different type of negotiation. As Radis and the king speak about the mysterious Jedi friend who is so focused on saving the galaxy, Vader and the Inquisitors finally land. Opening the doors to see Commander Akbar, the infamous man tells the Inquisitors to halt, as he is handed an official order with the Emperor's seal himself, instructing them that any interference with the Inquisitorius will be an act of war against the Empire. Clearly having an issue with the memo from the Emperor, Akbar looks in disgust, as the Ninth Sister tells him to take it up with the boss. As he looks to the ship, and from the red smoke emerges the black figure of death. Lord Vader has arrived. Now, this part of the comic is pretty cool, in my opinion, on Akbar's part. He full-on tells Vader to reveal his intentions before he lets him continue, pretty much denying him and not bowing before him like everyone else. As Vader yields and tells the commander that they are on the hunt for an enemy of the Empire, Akbar stands back in confusion, telling Lord Vader that no one here is an enemy of the Empire. When all of a sudden the Imperial shuttle bursts into flames as Vader and his crew continue to walk past Akbar and his awestruck men, saying,
Commander, you are mistaken.
As notice of things is brought to Tarkin's attention up above, he sternly looks to the planet and orders for military craft to land on the planet immediately.
Oh, they
at his
framed it
orders.
like a Mon
As we
Cala
go to the
attack.
final but most captivating part of the comic, a voice most likely that of the king is heard echoing to a mysterious Jedi Master in brown robes, telling him or her that the Empire has waged war on the planet and will be landing soon, and that Inquisitors along with another man is joining them. This one is tall, armored, masked, and dressed all in black. As he says, Akbar didn't get his name, when the Jedi Master tells him, "I know his name. Skywalker."
Oh, he knows. Bro, that's crazy. A lot of Jedi really
Today's
knows
begins
that
with
Darth
Vader's
Vader
men and
is
the Empire
Skywalker.
annihilating the Mon Cala army after the Imperial ship was destroyed upon its return to Tarkin's starship, orbiting above. As they clear the landing platform, Vader leads them up, where he assures them that the king is still around.
No disrespect, Lord Vader, but that's assuming the king's even still up there. He probably evacuated the minute the Empire landed an entire battalion on this rock.
No, 10th brother. He remains. I am certain of it.
As Vader tells him that he is familiar with the king, we see him explain the next
Oh,
few
yeah.
things as we see what
Like I
looks
said,
like.
yeah, this is
some
from
very
the
familiar
Clone
faces
Wars.
from the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
As the king reveals that the battle above sea is merely a decoy for the planet's civilians to evacuate underwater and be safe, he realizes that there are two options out of this, and the first that he'll try will shed no further blood at all. Above the planet, we have Tarkin, who commands the king through a hologram interaction to stand down and let the Empire continue their investigation, where King Lee Char tells them that any invasion is a breach of the treaty and they will be forced to uphold aggressive defenses. Tarkin basically does what Tarkin does best here, and ends the channel by commanding the king to stand down and ending the transmission. As we go to the mysterious Jedi Master, we see him say the name Skywalker underneath his hooded cloak as he is surrounded by what seems to be friends, where he looks at a surveillance monitor observing Vader and the Inquisitors just slicing through those native to the planet. As he removes his hood, he is revealed as Jedi Master Bar. Now, Master Bar seems to be an Iktochi, and if I'm correct, that is actually the same species that Sazy Tin is from, which we saw him get annihilated by the Senate. As he asks his droid to project a hologram of a file I assumed is centered around Anakin and Order 66, up comes young Skywalker as he trains in the Jedi Temple as a young boy.
Skywalker was the greatest Jedi of his generation, accepted into the temple for training at an age later than any before. I knew him, even sparred with him a few times. He was magnificent. Some of the Jedi Council believed he was sent to bring balance to the Force, to end darkness once and for all. Even the great Obi-Wan Kenobi thought so. They were wrong. This is an image from a Coruscant Security Force holocam stationed above the temple
the
district
Imperial
on the night
March.
of the Jedi Purge. Most of the files were erased, but I found a slicer who pulled this off a backup archive. I've been studying the Purge, trying to understand how we could lose so completely, so quickly. I learned about Order 66, poor deluded Dooku, just how deep it went. But still, we should have been able to foresee our doom. We were peering outward when we should have been looking at ourselves. At him! Palpatine's clones did their part, but the rest he killed. Even the younglings. He hasn't stopped either. He hunts the few survivors alongside his Inquisitors, more former Jedi, traitors. Darkness was everywhere inside us, like a cancer, and we just couldn't see it. Skywalker's betrayal did not come without cost. He is dark now, inside and out. He calls himself Darth Vader. But the sins of Anakin Skywalker remain the sins of Vader. Even the power of the dark side cannot erase the past.
The Jedi must be avenged, Master Bar. Send us to destroy this Vader.
As easy as that, Reb. Vader is the most dangerous man alive, and his Inquisitors are nearly as bad. I have another plan. If it succeeds, the Jedi will be avenged, the galaxy rid of Vader and his spawn, and great steps taken toward ending the Empire.
How?
Well, that all depends on the king.
As Master Bar tells the king to trust his vision of the evil that the Empire shall turn into, he agrees to the plan and ends transmission. As he looks behind him and sees Vader and the Inquisitors, when he's slammed against the stone wall by the dark side of the Force.
Ninth sister, do your work.
And to think the last time he was here, he helped the king.
To reveal the location of the Jedi Master, which seems like the same kind of attack Kylo Ren uses on Poe and Rey. We see them all look up as massive waves from the native whales create a seismic tsunami, where Vader orders the Inquisitor to put up a Force shield. When they can't hold it off, he steps in and uses all of his rage to hold the wave back. But alas, it's far too big and heavy and engulfs the entire surface of the planet, Vader included, into the stormy seas of the abyss. As Tarkin informs the commander that Mon Cala hasn't been destroyed at all, as all of their infrastructure is below seas to begin with, he moves to ask whether any word from Lord Vader has been heard, as the Imperial tells him
He's not responding.
Damn.